Strong storms aren't done with us just yet. We're tracking yet another system right now. We're glad you're with us. I'm Kim Christensen. For the second time in the last 24 hours, Highway 6 in Jefferson County is closed in both directions. Another rock slide. This is a live look near the closure near mile marker 263. This is happening after yet another big storm system moved through. That system packed a lot of rain, lightning, and wind. It had flags and trees blown around in this neighborhood in Lakewood. Got all of everyone's attention. 9 News meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen is here right now. We're finding out where holes are in the ceiling and all kinds of things, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, for a non-severe storm, this is a pretty good action across the Denver metro area. And those canyons, Clear Creek Canyon, Golden Gate Canyon, and Coal Creek Canyon all got hit pretty hard. 1.5 inches in Coal Creek in just 40 minutes. But look at this, it's already almost through the Denver metro area. It came through fast, mostly just heavy rain, lots of lightning, a few strong wind gusts, but fairly painless otherwise, other than just a few moments of just some pretty quality action. That storm front here just going to dissipate as it moves out towards the end of the eastern plains. You can see a few more showers still in the mountains, and those probably continue all the way into the foothills overnight, but I'm not expecting anything in the way of high impacts with that. Tomorrow we do have some chances here for some severe weather again. Denver is now included in the that was actually Thursday, so we're actually moving it over just a little bit tomorrow. The 40% coverage of storms for tomorrow is not going to be as high impact as what we've seen over the last 6 days. And then we'll move into the heat, 95 both days, Saturday and Sunday, and the heat will continue. More details coming up in the full forecast.
As yet another round of storms is moving through Colorado tonight, people in Evergreen are still dealing with the ones that hit overnight. Heavy rain sent water rushing into businesses along Highway 74. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez joins us now from there. And Colton, we know it was pouring down rain an hour ago, but this is a tight-knit community that's used to kind of working together to pick things up.
Kim, I don't know why I didn't get the message that the rain was going to come through Evergreen like that, because we were sitting in our car and all of a sudden, like at the snap of a finger, it started dumping. I'm talking water running down State Highway 74 here, dumping off of the roof here, and now it looks like it never happened. But as these communities continue to try to work through all this storm, they say they're going to have to rely on each other to make it through.
You could absolutely tell that something came in and just wiped out Evergreen last night for about 2 or 3 hours.
Businesses along State Highway 74 are sharing in the damage from last night's storm.
And I just kept thinking, oh God, I know what I'm going to walk into tomorrow.
Jim Sherwood says that type of storm is the kind you can't run from.
It will slip into the back of the building, through the building, under the building, over the building, through the roof, you name it.
Jim says for his store, Evergreen Clothing and Mercantile,
the floors had about 1 inch of water on them. There was a lot of standing water upstairs.
Flooded floors have become a shared outcome for several nearby businesses, including one location Jim knows very well.
Ironically, my store was just a few doors down, 70 West, which is down there now.
Now owned by Laura Coates.
You're going to make me teary-eyed right off the bat.
Laura says sharing in the aftermath of a storm was made easy through the kindness of her community.
Right when I got here at 7 a.m. this morning, Creekside across the street gave me their shop vac to use.
Everybody truly is interested in everybody's well-being and everybody's success.
Interested in helping each other clear out the damage.
So people show up for each other here.
And show that Evergreen, together, can weather the storm.
We are just a village. We don't call the mayor. We don't call the mayor's office. We don't have a mayor. We call each other.
And one concerning piece about all of this is that these business owners say from last night's storm, they saw a lot of rain leaking through the roofs, and they're worried about it being inside their walls, which could mean mold. And Kim, I have to say, it has to think that with all this rain, this is the last thing any of these business owners want to see. They're going to have to start their assessments over tomorrow morning. Live in Evergreen, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
Okay. Well, Colton, we're glad you're drying out just a little bit. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Communities on the Northeastern Plains have been hit by strong storms 6 days in a row. Heavy rain washed out roads throughout Washington County, including this one south of Platner. One area that was hit hard was Akron. Heavy rain left roads throughout the town flooded, those floodwaters damaging homes and businesses.
There's very few homes that have not been impacted by the flooding. Most of the reports I've heard are basement flooding, or those who don't have a basement, the water just coming in through the doors. Most of the town facilities have been impacted, either with leaking through the roof, but a lot of flooding.
The town manager says it's been a community effort to clean up around town, with some folks working into the early morning hours to pick up the debris. The National Park Service is investigating the death of a man from Denver at Yellowstone. Rangers believe 41-year-old Brandon Ray capsized while kayaking. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch joins us after speaking with one of his longtime friends. Janelle.
Ray is originally from Mississippi, but moved to Denver 16 years ago. Since then, Colorado has been home, and for the last 2.5 years, he shared his home with Ellen Rappaport. Now she's readjusting to living alone. Home should feel comfortable. But before Ellen Rappaport,
very strange, very strange,
even walks through her door, she's reminded of who isn't there.
So I sat in the cushioned rocking chair, and he sat more like in the camp chair.
Her last memory of her friend and roommate Brandon Ray was at their meeting spot.
And I'm really glad that we had that moment together.
Brandon went to Yellowstone National Park for his 41st birthday this month. Ellen says it was a fitting way for him to celebrate.
Outdoors camping. We have a large group of friends who are like family here that we call our camp group.
She says he planned the trip quickly and no one else in their camping group could make it. He had only been there a few days before his mom called her.
And it was just devastating.
The National Park Service says he had gone kayaking in Yellowstone Lake and capsized.
These items here are what he purchased on his trip.
Ellen drove up later that week to pick up Brandon's stuff.
So this is Brandon's bear box.
She says park rangers took her to the beach where they believe he entered the water.
We have a hat. One of his good friends owns an art gallery.
Ellen and some of their camping family wanted to leave Brandon with memories he left with them.
I added the candle that I gave him for Christmas because he loved the avalanche.
While home feels different for Ellen, she says there will always be a place for Brandon in it.
Joke was that he could have brought us to a different state, and he brought us to the most gorgeous, beautiful place in our country. It was very fitting for Brandon.
Ellen says Brandon was big on sustainability. She says just yesterday, his former employer hosted a trash pickup day in his honor. Ellen says she'll continue to clean up around Sloan's Lake where they lived and keep him in mind on every camping trip. Janelle Finch, 9 News.
The owners of a funeral home in Pueblo where dozens of decomposing bodies were hidden away are now in jail. Today, former Republican Pueblo County Coroner Brian Cotter and his brother Chris were arrested. They each face dozens of charges, including abuse of a corpse, forgery, and theft. Inspectors found 24 bodies in a secret room of their funeral home, Davis Mortuary, back in August. Today, investigators also announced they found additional cremated remains stored there and believe there are at least 125 victims. So far, they've identified 19 of them. Investigators say it's been a difficult process because of the mortuary's poor record keeping, the bad condition of the remains, and the lack of leads. They'd previously said they were waiting to pursue charges while this process played out.
Certainly the goal was to have all of the bodies identified by the filing of charges. However, Colorado law does not require the specific identity in order to file the abuse of corpse charges.
Both brothers had their bonds set at $1 million. They're due in court tomorrow afternoon. The Aurora police officer who shot and killed a man at an off-airport parking lot will not be criminally charged. The Adams County DA announced the decision today. 32-year-old Rashad Johnson was shot in May of last year at the parking spot near DIA. According to APD, the manager repeatedly called 911, reporting a man who appeared to be under the influence and was trespassing. APD sent one officer. They say Johnson walked toward that officer. They got into a struggle, and the officer pulled him off. The officer then yelled commands. Johnson walked toward him, and the officer shot him. Attorneys filed a lawsuit on behalf of Johnson's family last year, saying he was experiencing a mental health crisis and argued the officer escalated the situation. The officer filed a motion last week to dismiss the lawsuit. The court hasn't ruled on that yet. The big sign on the old Denver Post building is officially gone. It is taken down this week as part of a settlement with the city. Sky 9 captured the building on Colfax. Without it today, DP Media Network, the paper's legal name, held that lease for the city-owned building, but it stopped paying rent last August. Under the terms of a settlement, the city and county recently announced DP Media Network would pay $13.5 million, and it would take that sign down. Denver said the cost of the removal and its ability to lease out space in the building would make up the rest of the unpaid rent it won't collect.